Good evening, everyone. I am Michelle with Yes Michelle Crochets, and I want to welcome you to the live stream tonight. As you probably saw from the title of tonight's event, we are going to be talking about how to get your numbers up for content creators. Of course, this is not exclusively for content creators. In addition to those who are thinking about becoming content creators, this is for the lay person who just wants to understand the inner workings of YouTube. So I welcome each and every one of you, and I thank you for being here tonight. I first want to say a very special welcome to Mama Winch. Thank you for being here. I am so glad you're here with me tonight, and a special good evening or afternoon or morning to the people who will catch this as a replay. I welcome you all into the chat. I know that there are people who are going to come in a few moments, but in the meantime, in the between time, I want to tell you that tonight has been a challenge. At one point, my internet went out, but I am happy to say it is back and working, and I am here with you. So I'm super excited about tonight, and I certainly hope you're excited about tonight's topic too, because for those of us that are content creators, one of our biggest concerns is getting the numbers up so that we can hit some of the monetization goals that YouTube sets for us as content creators. Now, with that in mind, let's get started. And forgive me if you don't already know about me. I'm a note person. I stick to my notes so that I can stay on time. I see your time is valuable, and I don't want to waste a precious minute of it. So I have notes, and I try to stay to them. With that said, whether you are trying to get your first 100 subscribers or you're trying to get your next 100 subscribers, at least to the first 1,000, that hill can seem almost insurmountable. Some of us struggle to add just one more person, but I want to say to you tonight, before we dive deep into all of the things that I have to share with you, value and treasure your subscribers, because if you're good to them, they will stick by you. I can say this as someone who's been on the YouTube streets for over 11 months now. Some of the same people who were with me when I first started my channel are still with me today. And a lot of that has to do with me not talking to my subscribers as a mass group. I talk to you guys as individuals. You are you. I'm just talking to you, not everybody. You see, if you're talking to everybody, you're really talking to nobody. Talk to you. I'm talking to you. So, to you, I say, welcome in. Make yourself comfortable. And if you have questions throughout this chat, please do me a favor and add them in the chat. And as I am able to, I will most certainly answer them. Another thing I want to notify you about, and this is a new thing that YouTube is doing, we now have a community engagement component to our channel. And it's a service that some channel persons have turned on, others have not. I just found out about it earlier this week, so I have turned it on. If you tag me or you go over to that part of my channel and you leave me a message, I will see it and reply so we can have a direct conversation. You don't have to wait to go to one of my videos and then hope that I see your comment. I'm going to see it because I look. But if you go directly to that communities area, we can exchange and engage and have a wonderful conversation. And I look forward to talking to you there. Now, I'm going to try to share as much as I can within this 1 hour segment about some of the things that I've done to take this channel from no subscribers. Good evening, Sarah, and good evening, Kitty. You guys, thank you all for being here. Happy Wednesday. I love that greeting. But when I first started my channel on, though I put the channel together in 2023, I didn't put my first video up until July 17th of 2024. And since then, according to my stats this evening, I am currently sitting at 972 subscribers. And From what I'm told, that's a pretty good feat. I don't see them as 972. I just see you as you. And I welcome you guys for being here tonight. With that on my mind, I want to give you this to consider. If you're trying to turn your creativity into something real, whether you already have an established channel or you're thinking that looks like something I might want to do in the future, you're in the right place. So, as you're in the chat, please do me a favor. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I will say this though, please stay topic friendly because I squirrel very easily and get very distracted. So, we do need to stay on topic tonight. Saturday is when we free for all and talk about a little bit of everything. But tonight, we're going to focus and not waste your time for even a precious second. Now, my story about how I got my first 100 is kind of a lark, to be very honest. I started my channel, like I said, a year prior, but I didn't put up a video. Many of us do that. We'll create a YouTube account, but we won't post any information, never knowing whether or not we actually even want to be content creators. So when I put up my first video, I didn't use any words. I don't even remember if there were pictures of me in it. I just did a general audience blurb. And then a few days later, I did the most cringeworthy video that I have ever done. It was so not my character. It was so not me. But it was enough for me to say, yes, this is what I want to do, and to learn more about the whole mechanic that is YouTube. Meanwhile, I shared it with another person who just watched YouTube at that time, like I did at that moment, and they told a bigger content creator. That content creator shouted my channel out. And that's kind of how my trajectory has happened because of the community that I support, the crochet community. I've been lucky enough that content creators that I've supported saw the vision of what I was trying to do and endorsed it by sharing my channel on their platforms. And the people who were in their audience rooms came over to give me an opportunity to introduce myself. And I'm pretty fortunate because most of them stay. So, this is the first step to getting your first 100. The community or the niche that you're stepping into, you don't just need to be a creator within that niche, you need to be a consumer. You need to know who are your neighbors on your YouTube street. Help them grow, and in turn, they're going to help you grow. Of course, be, sensitive. Don't see your next door neighbor is talking about red shoes and all of a sudden do the exact same video, the exact same way, using the exact same titles and thumbnails and all of that. That's not very kind, and it's not going to help you grow. In fact, it could get your channel tanked because people will see you as a cut, copy, paste. Nobody needs a replay. If I want to watch Kitty Lane's channel, I'm going to go to Kitty Lane's channel. I'm not going to go to Yes Michelle Crochets and expect to see what Kitty Lane does because Kitty Lane is amazing all by herself. If Michelle is going to shine as Yes Michelle Crochets, then she needs to do what is authentically Yes Michelle. And that's what you need to do as a content creator. If you're going to say, I am going to step into the YouTube space, or even if you want to do TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your social media platform, you need to know who you are. Because in addition to your niche, you are your brand. So you need to show up as yourself, not as someone else. We can all watch whomever is already out there. We want to get to know you. We want to see you. What is your take on a particular situation, a particular yarn, a particular style of crochet or knitting or whatever your niche may be? Bring your voice to the table because that's what the audience is going to come and see. The other thing, and I heard this so much in the beginning, just post. Don't waste your time just posting. Post with intention. Post with a message. Post with, I want to answer a question, solve a problem, or entertain. Know what your outcome should look like for you before you press the button to start your camera or your phone or whatever device you're filming on. And I say that with sincerity. I do not, I do watch brand new channels all the time. And what I learned from watching them is that growth happens. If I were the same person who showed up in July of last year today, I wouldn't have the audience or the engagement that I do. The channel that I thought I was starting when I put up my first couple of videos is not the channel that it became. And I think within the first 10 videos that I made, one of them was We Need to Talk. And that was all about pivoting because for me, in my brain, I thought, I'm not going to talk. I am going to play music. By the way, there are rules on music. You need to know them. Follow the rules of YouTube and you will have a fun time. Don't, and you won't have a channel. So I thought, I'm going to play music and I'm going to crochet. Never going to talk. Might not even show my face. Yeah, that's not the channel that I have. I talk and I talk a lot. And I love to share and inform. And the parts of my personality that people know me for away from YouTube are the same parts of who I am in front of the camera when I make my videos. I love to motivate. I love to inspire. I love to love. And that comes across in my videos when I share information with my audiences. I let them know that I'm rooting for them. You need to remember who you are. The other aspect of who I am is I'm a teacher. So that's why this part of the component of my channel exists. I don't just come here to share about content creation because it's easy. I come because I want to help others achieve their dreams if content creation is in their future or in the things that they want to do. So there's that. Now, the other thing that I learned again very, very quickly is to niche down. Crochet, for example, is a very big community. There is mosaic crochet, Tunisian crochet. Everybody who's anybody knows something about their style of crochet, but it's unique from person to person. Some of us are right handed crocheters, others are left handed crocheters, and hopefully I didn't bump you, but if I did, I apologize. Nonetheless, we all bring something unique and different to the table. I'm the type of crochet artist who taught herself how to crochet. I was influenced by other people along the way, but ultimately, there wasn't a YouTube around when I first learned how to crochet, so I had to teach myself. And I did it while on bed rest. So that's my walk and my experience. Whatever your story is to your journey into becoming a content creator, remember that when you're considering who your audience is going to be, what your niche is going to be, and what you want to talk about when you turn the camera on. Those critical factors will be the difference between whether or not people hit that subscribe button or whether they exit out of your video and scroll on to the next video in their recommended feed. And another thing that isn't often said but needs to be said, until you get your first 100 subscribers, oftentimes YouTube doesn't recommend you quite as much as you would hope that they do. The reality of it is they don't know who you are, what your story is, or who to recommend you to. In a previous live stream, I did a whole information format about the algorithm, why certain videos are recommended where others are not. So I would highly recommend you go back in my history and take a look at that live stream so you can better understand how to show up in the algorithm. It goes with a quality thumbnail, a catchy title, that is authentic to the information that you're sharing, and making sure that you SEO monetize that description information. Tell the story of what that video is about so that YouTube knows where to say, okay, let me send this over here, or let me send it over there because these people are going to like it that much more. And we used to be told 6 months ago, tags don't matter. Yes, they do. In fact, now more than ever, YouTube is encouraging content creators when they're writing those descriptions to make sure they're adding tags. And your first 3 to 5 tags tells YouTube what to recommend your videos for. I highly encourage you to use your AI devices or a tag generating source to create, based on your description and title, tags that are going to match up with what's going to work for YouTube to push you further out into the algorithm. And I know that's kind of heady and wordy, but the long story of it all is this is a business, and the AI that is YouTube's recommendation system doesn't know who you are. So they need prompts to know where to send you. So use those tags. And yes, use them in your titles too, because that's going to benefit you as well. So, like I said, I got my first 100 subscribers probably within the first 5 days of having a channel because another content creator who had a much larger and has a much larger platform shouted out my channel. And shouting out is essentially saying, I recommend you go over and check out this channel. This is their channel name, and this is, what they're about, or at least this is what I've seen thus far. Go give them a watch, and if you like what you see, subscribe. It happens a lot more than you think. I do it with other channels. I know channels that have dedicated videos about recommending other content creators, and I think that's amazing. I also recommend, as you grow, that you do the same. Pay it forward. As people help you, make sure that you're helping others, because YouTube is a very, very big place. It's so much nicer when you have friends who help you do the things that you want to do and achieve your goals. So, like I said, niche, critically important. Niche down and show up. The other part of knowing who your audience is, what your niche is showing up. Don't just drop a video on Tuesday and then think, oh, I'm going to wait 3 weeks and then drop another one. Because here's the reality, the audience is looking for you, but they're not going to go hunting for you. They will find someone else to watch if you're not there. So have a predictable schedule. Now be smart. Make sure you're scheduling your videos based on your availability. For example, if you work a full-time job where you can't sit down in front of the camera to make your video, edit it, create the thumbnails and all the information that goes with it, and upload it to YouTube on more than twice a week or once a week, then that's all you can do. But be consistent. If you know you can drop a video every Thursday, drop a video every Thursday. If you know you can only show up every 2 weeks, be committed, be consistent. Your audience will find you and they will come back again and again, but you have to do things like show up, make the video, and be connected to your community. If your audience is leaving you messages saying, hey, I know you like to talk about this, can you answer this question for me? Be the Google search that YouTube really is and answer those questions. Make connections with your audience. They're going to come in for your video. Encourage them to do things like the video, subscribe, share your video. They will do those things if you remind them. Sometimes we're so engaged and engrossed in what's being said by the host of the video that we forget to do those simple steps. But we also know those simple steps makes the difference between whether or not you're going to show up in that algorithm next time or not. And with that said, if you haven't already done so, Please hit like for this live stream tonight. And again, if you have any questions along the way, drop them in the comments. I'd love to know. Now, the five strategies that I encourage you to consider for a faster growth rate for your first 100 or your next 100. Like I said, niche down, show up. That's number one. Know who you want to talk to, and YouTube is going to make sure you get to talk to them. The thing that I wrote down to remember about that concept is create a predictable schedule, and the audience will look for you. But if you don't show up, neither will they. Number two, YouTube says that using shorts will encourage subscribers. And I have to say, honestly, from experience and looking at other content creators who do shorts versus those who don't, and talking to some of the smarter brains than myself, what we've discovered is people who typically watch shorts don't watch long form content. People who watch long form content don't watch shorts. Those of us that are of a particular age who used to watch regular television that had commercials, we kind of had it programmed in our brain that we were going to watch our program. And then the moment the commercial came on, that was snack break time, that was nature break time, that was not stick around for the commercials. In a sick way of it, shorts are kind of like commercials. They're only that long. They do give a very powerful message. And yes, you can absolutely grow an entire YouTube channel based on shorts. But the truth of the matter is, if your audience is engaging with your shorts, 9 times out of 10, they're not showing up consistently for your long term because they want those quick nuggets and they want to move on to the next thing. Maybe they've only got 2 minutes in their day to support your channel. So decide, are you going to be a long form content creator or are you going to be a short form content creator? Maybe you're going to have more than one channel, or you take your long form content and you cut it up and you put it on a different channel that's exclusively your shorts. Those are two different revenue streams and opportunities for engagement, but that's a growth strategy that you might want to consider. Now, on to strategy number 3, the thumbnails that convert. Let's be realistic. Plenty of us have gone shopping at a brick and mortar store. How many times have you been walking past a store and you saw the coolest outfit and you were like, oh, I got to go in and see that? You didn't know what the price was necessarily, but you connected with what caught your eye, and that caused you to go into that store unless you were already planning to go there. The reality of it is that thumbnail is that window dressing to make people come in and take a look at what you have to offer and what you have to say. So make sure your thumbnails are eye catching. They tell the story of what you're going to be saying in your video. And most of all, there's something that we can see at a second's notice. The reality of it is nobody realistically spends more than 3 seconds looking at a thumbnail to decide whether or not they want to click on that video. The other thing that we're learning for content creators is if you put a picture of yourself on the thumbnail, more often than not, people are going to click it to see who you are and what you're about. We like to watch people who remind us of ourselves. So if you're constantly putting up pictures of puppies, they're going to want to see puppies. If puppies aren't in the video, they may not stay. So consider that you are the face forward of your brand if you are a front facing person on camera. Now, maybe you have an AI avatar that you're using to create your channel. Still put the picture of the avatar on your thumbnail. Get your audience hooked on who you are. They'll come in and see what you have. Number 4, use out the call out CTAs. And I just kind of did that a few moments ago when I was saying, say it loud. If you like what you see here today, hit like. If you really love it, hit subscribe. And don't forget to tickle that bell notification so that you're notified every time I post a video. I go live, I put up a post, or whatever I may do on this channel. By simply telling the audience what you want from them, they'll know what they need to do to stay connected with you. That's a growth strategy that has never missed. And don't miss the opportunity to do that for yourself. In the beginning, it seems weird to be telling your audience, now please hit like. It seems strange, like used car salesman strange. But the truth of the matter is, if I don't know what you want me to do, I'm not going to do it. So, and then of course, the fifth growth strategy is celebrate the people who've already subscribed to your channel. Sometimes that's just a friend or a family member who you've told about your channel, but celebrate them, support them, encourage them. You see, when I like something, I tell somebody about it. If I'm loving this particular content creator who's always telling me about tips and tricks to do for my hair, because I have a particular fabric of hair that is unique in my family or in my experience, and they're going to tell me how to take care of my hair and grow my hair to whatever length, then if I know somebody's going through the same experience, I'm absolutely, I'm sorry, more grace. I don't know what that means, my friend. I really don't, but bless you. Anyway, with that said, you're going to share the information. You're going to talk to people about the things that you like, the things that you know. We recommend our favorite car or our favorite television show. In a nutshell, YouTube is kind of like our television. Many of us don't even watch our regular television, cable, or our Netflix and any all those things anymore because we're so busy watching YouTube. So consider that when you're making your next videos. Now, I also want to talk to you a little bit about what I've learned about being a content creator. And the number one lesson I've learned thus far is get out of your own way. We often, when we start our channels, have the impression that we need to show up a particular way. When I first started, I thought I have to wear makeup, I have to, dress a certain way, speak a certain way, do a certain thing. The truth of the matter is, if I just show up as myself without the makeup and authentically bring the story that I want to share to the camera, my audience shows up for me. And that's the beauty of YouTube. Be yourself. You don't have to talk in a certain fashion or dress in a certain way or put on a personality that's not real, because the truth of it is the audience is going to see who you are and recognize that that's not the real you, and they're not going to stay. You want to be, I always tell people, start as you intend to continue. If you start out with doing, these high pressure videos where you're doing a lot of extra added B-roll and you're doing a lot of graphics and you're throwing in a lot of pictures, that's a lot of editing work. If that's not something you have time to do, and then you suddenly change your videos and it's just you sitting in front of the camera talking, your audience is going to be confused. So start as you intend to continue. Make sure that you're giving the story that you always want to be able to share. You can look at my videos for the last 6 months, and pretty much they're the same as they are today. There are certain things I always make sure that I say. There are certain things that I always make sure that I do. I'm a person who likes to give a motivational quote, so I share a motivational quote in every video that I do. Now, in my live streams, it's a little different. I don't do that. But when you come for a pre recorded video at Yes Michelle's house, you can guarantee I'm going to share a motivational quote with you. Sometimes two. Know what you want your video structures to look like. Know what you want your live streams to look like. For me, having notes is critical. I know that my natural personality is not comfortable in a live stream setting because it's unscripted. And for me, that's disjointed. But the beauty of it is by showing up in a live stream format, I get the engagement of my community. They come in and share what they're thinking. If they have questions about something I'm working on, for example, if I'm crocheting a blanket all week long and they've seen that yarn, but they don't recognize it, or they didn't see the card that I put up before the crochet that says this is Big Twist Pound Plus yarn in burgundy, and on Saturday, they can come into a live stream and ask me, hey, we've been watching you make that blanket. What is that really dark red yarn? And I can tell them what the brand of the yarn is and things like that. So you are your brand authority. Things that you're showing in your video, if you do live streams, people are going to come in and talk to you about those things. They're going to ask you questions because the reality of it is, in this space, you're the teacher. So that kind of was important for me to learn and be able to relate and share to my audience and to you guys tonight, because being able to communicate in a way that my audience can relate to is easy for me in a video. When you see the videos that I produce, I have that entire conversation without editing. I don't start the video and then stop it and then think, okay, I want to say this and then I don't want to say that. If I say the wrong word or I do the wrong thing, I leave it in, because the reality of it is, how important are aesthetics? It really depends on the person and the audience you're engaging with. The truth of it is, there are some, channels that do a lot of things, such as create avatars, backgrounds, add in extra graphics and things like that. And that's great for their channel because that's what they want to do. The truth of it is, if you just show up as you, if you give the story that you want to tell, teach the way you want to teach, there are going to be people there to catch what you're throwing at them. I love to say it that way because if you think about it, most of us have gone to school. There were some teachers who taught you things and you got it like this. It was easy. And there were other teachers who you absolutely had no connection with. No matter how they presented the information, you couldn't understand it because it didn't make sense to you. Everyone teaches differently, everyone shares differently. That's the beauty of YouTube. Some people, they want that high polished value for their video. Other people, we just sit down and we have a conversation. And when we're done, it's over. That's it for us. And that's great. I have seen plenty of channels and followed a few of them. Okay, more than a few. Where all they do is they sit and they talk. Some people in the crochet community will sit, and while they're crocheting, they're talking to their audience about whatever story or information, blog style that they want to share. And people resonate with that. They connect with that. Other people, they don't do that at all. They can sit down and they might use their yarn winder and make a cake of yarn. And I'm going to grab this. But for those who may not recognize this, this is what we call a cake of yarn. It's on a spindle, but it's just a wound up skein of yarn. And yes, I have a little hook that it hangs from so I can crochet at my desk. I'm excited about that. But the point of it is, I've wound yarn on a live. I've never done it in a video. Like I said, am a squirrel. I will forget what I'm talking about, get confused, and it'll be a hot mess express if I do more than one thing. So I talk. And then when I'm done talking, then I crochet. I don't do two things at once. I'm that girl who should never walk and chew gum. I will break something, most likely me. So I don't do it. But I encourage others to do what works for them. You have to decide what your videos look like based on what you're comfortable with. Again, some people, I have seen people make videos in their pajamas or their robe. Other people who honestly may not have even brushed their hair, but their information is so interesting that they have an audience that engages with them. So I love that. Be who you are, show up the way you want to show up, tell the story that you want to tell. I can't say that enough. Know that you are unique. And we, as consumers of YouTube, watch different people for different reasons. There are some people we watch because they're eye candy. Let's tell the truth. They're beautiful. Whether it's a man or a woman, they're beautiful. And we stick around. Or they have this voice that literally their voices are like butter. They melt and you're drawn in and you're engaged. There are other people who, like me, have to use a microphone because we have very soft voices and people don't hear us very easily. So different people have to kind of lean in and pay attention to what I'm saying because that's the only way you're going to know what I've said. There are some people, again, like me, who for the longest time didn't know where the actual lens for their camera was and they kept looking at the screen like this. So they were making no engagement with the audience. But a slight pivot and an actual glance at my camera, and now you feel the connection that I'm making with you because I'm looking at you. These are the types of things that are going to draw your subscribers to your channel and make them know that they want to be connected with you and your brand and support you. The other thing is tell your story and be truthful about it. Don't sit up and buy $10,000 worth of yarn when you can barely afford your bills if you're in the crochet community. Don't go out and buy a $1,000 camera when you don't have $20 to get back and forth to work for the next week. Don't starve yourself to feed your desire to be a content creator because I'm going to tell you 11 months in, this will not sustain you in the beginning. When you're growing your channel or your platform, it is highly unlikely, no matter what your niche is, that you're going to be able to independently live on what you generate from YouTube. Now, there are plenty of content creators who make a very good living because of what they do on YouTube. That's not everybody's story. And prepare for it to not be yours. If it turns out different, that's amazing. And I'm thrilled for you. But the truth of it is, it may not happen. And if it doesn't, and you were prepared that this was your safety net for success, you're going to be in trouble. And that's not going to be good for anyone. You are your audience. So be real about who you are. Don't go out and buy a new wardrobe because the truth of it is you don't need it. Show up as you. Okay. Now, actually, guys, I just heard something. And I am going to kind of cut this a little bit short tonight. I hope you'll certainly understand. I have shared with those of you who have been around with me for a bit that this is a very tough week for me. So, in addition to showing up because it was my commitment and my promise to my audience, I also need to be authentic and serious about who I am as a person and do a bit of self care. So, if you all don't have questions tonight beyond the ones that have been asked, I want to ask you to please give me a little bit of grace and excuse me a little bit early tonight. Are there any questions before we cut this short? Because if not, I would love to say to each and every one of you, I want to see you win. So, of course, as someone who isn't just a content creator or a crochet artist or a teacher, because I'm all of those things, and yes, I'm also a mom, I am a content creator coach. And in my stand store, I have the opportunity for those that are interested to book a discovery call with me. That's a 15-minute opportunity for us to discuss what your goals are related to becoming a content creator or for your already existing channel. And if that's something that you'd like to do, by all means, click the pinned comment in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me know how I might be able to support you as a content creator. Of course, the beauty of what I do is I'm going to show up on a weekly basis here on this channel to share information with you, motivation, both crochet and content creator related. The other thing I want to share with you, and this is me kind of stepping out of my own comfort zone just a little bit, is to share with you not only do I have this channel, Yes Michelle Crochets, but I have a second channel, and that channel is Audio Accessories. I started it just a little more than a week ago, and that's where I have the beauty and pleasure of sharing music with you. I create playlists using one of my so-called alternate personalities, which is DJ Earworm. And I curate playlists based on a particular type of music and things like that and assemble it. The other thing I do is I have another character that I created, Early Bird, and Early Bird does mindful meditation and activities like that. So I will be putting more of those types of things on that channel. And in the very near future, there will be a third channel, and that's going to be the content creator best friend. The content creator's best friend is going to be a channel that is totally dedicated to teaching the tools, tips, and trades for those who are content creators who want to grow, do brand assignments and alignments, and those who are considering becoming content creators and really don't know where to begin. So those are things you can look forward to from me as we move forward. In the meantime, in between time, thank you for being with me tonight. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope you have some fun today. And for those of you who get the opportunity to see my regular videos because you've hit like and you've hit subscribe and you've tickled the bell notification, I will see you guys Friday for Freedom Friday. But until then, have some fun today. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.